Good evening, and I'm Jared Abad, and this is Eyewitness News. Today in May of 1942, the U.S. OPA freezes prices on most of the everyday goods in order to support the war effort. Rationing is playing an important role for our soldiers fighting in Europe and Japan because of short supplies on the battlefield. Resources like steel and rubber are being rapidly stepping up in their production, and precious resources like sugar, meat, and gasoline are affecting the American citizens as well. Now let's go to Christine Martinez for how rationing is benefited for us, how it's making things worse.
Troops in the war by using less fuel by putting a certain amount of fuel per week with stickers to determine how much gasoline you're able to use. The higher your status is, like truckers for example, because they supply the population, they have T stickers for unlimited amounts for fuel. Due to all these actions at home things, they may be looking up for our soldiers in the war. They are getting more fuel, more food, and most of all, the love of the people. Eyewitness News reporter Jared Abad begins our team coverage with a look at how things are different the way they are.
Johnny, oh Johnny, please tell me, dear, what makes me love you so?
Automobiles were issued certain stickers to indicate the amount of fuel they're allowed to use. This changes things up in a average person's life because now they see people driving less, people sharing their cars, and only driving when necessary. Multiple stamps are being issued out by the government, like food stamps. You are only allowed a certain amount of points a week, and they also expire if not used. Rubber is being rationed as well by driving under 35 miles per hour. For more information on what we predict is going to happen after the war is over,
after the war is that due to all the destruction of the cities in Europe, rationing will be sticking around for a little while because there are still so many people homeless from the bombing during the war. Sources say that rationing will continue on till around 1954.
During World War II, there was a battle on the home front, too. The tussle with ration books, tokens, and stamps. Supplies were short, and everything from shoes to gasoline was doled out. No stamps, no soap. Every cut of meat carried a certain point value, and many times stamps were more valuable than money. And rationing proved that the American people had vivid imaginations. The Office of Price Administration was swamped with fantastic tales from people who claimed they faced disaster without an extra allotment of this or that. Headaches were many. Housewives had a problem keeping track of stamps, and businessmen sought clerks and other help in vain. Pity the poor storekeeper when it came time to balance his ration stamp records. Most gasoline ration cards were A cards, which call for an allowance of 3 gallons a week. You couldn't go far, but if you did get rolling, you found empty highways. Yes, Virginia, there once was room on city streets. With most meat going to feed the biggest army in U.S. history, a series of Meatless Tuesdays went into effect. Housewives were urged to save fats for the war effort. They got their reward in extra meat points, and they were also paid 4 cents a pound. And the housewife fought the tin can war, saving food cans for steel and tin salvage. The containers went from the home front to duty on the war front. Everyone was involved in World War II. Then, with victory, the lid was off. Gasoline flowed once more. It was, ho for the open road, fill her up, let's go to the beach, to the mountains. After we get rid of the ration book, America was back on wheels, and rationing was only a memory.
You are only allowed a certain amount of points a week.